Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you guys this morning. Is today a comeback day? We chopped around yesterday. We're up here this morning. We'll talk about that, what it means for the regular session. We do have a couple of earnings on our radar. NVDA, AMAT, Deere this morning. We'll talk about GE. What a day for GE yesterday. Holy moly. And then we'll kind of just go through the market. We'll get some tickers from the chat, and we'll kind of talk about whatever comes up on our minds over the next hour. Our guest today, Jerremy Newsome from reallifetrading.com. He will join us in a half hour or so at 8:35. In the meantime, Joel, what's the word here overnight?
Major green on the screen. S&P's up 24.50 at 28.73. Your pre-market high up at 78.50. So we are trading above the high from yesterday, 28.71. Under that, I could see a little bit of weakness. Crude in the green by 30 cents at 54.72. Gold slipping a bit, down 760 to 1523.70. You have silver in the red, but still holding on to $17. That's down 5.4 cents at 17.15. Bitcoin, it's up $100 back at 10,200. Been kind of quiet. Let's bring in Triple D. Triple D, that rally last night, it was just a creeper rally. Were you able to get a hold of some stock on the line?
No, you know what? It was actually they bought the stuff pretty fast, and because it just kept creeping, we didn't have the chop. There just wasn't that much stuff to buy. You could kind of feel that we were going to be higher here today. So you're trying to buy some stocks after hours just because it was so... There just wasn't, sometimes you see after hours, see offers all over the place on a bunch of stocks. And it just wasn't the case. There just was nothing out there to buy. So, and that's maybe been the case here for a while. Liquidity is just less here after hours. You're chopping around so much. You don't have a lot of sitting orders out there. Institutions have been down on their longer term stuff. So it's all short term traders out there now. So that's why you see less liquidity out there right now, just simply because we've been chopping around so much that we've taken out all the long term players in the year, that orders that have just been sitting there. And we talk about orders that are sitting on the books. The long term GTC stuff is all done. So now you're just looking at short-term orders, people who are just putting in new orders there on the books. So it makes the markets a little less liquid. But, we had lots of news here. Trump continues to try to talk up this market. Again, last night in an interview, which you could have watched on CNBC. It was also Bloomberg. It was everywhere last night. But, he's just, every time the market goes down, he's trying to talk it back up. And that's what he's done here overnight again, trying to talk the market up. His effects are becoming less and less, though, is what I will say. People aren't listening to it as much, at least the traders aren't. And he's not moving it as much because when he's giving those commentaries, say, I'm going to have a call with the China president here, and we're going to, we're close, we're coming around on the deal. If you would have said that headline 2 weeks ago, it would have popped like so fast, and it just kind of shrugged it off. So there's a lot of issues here, and I want to did some scans last night. We'll talk about that in a bit. Quickly, Spencer, just give us those exact comments from the Trump interview and kind of what kick-started the rally a bit.
A few things. He said that he expects the U.S. and China to meet halfway. I don't know if he meant that literally, like in Germany, or figuratively. And he also said that he expected any trade dispute to be short-lived. I don't know how we can take that as being worth anything, since this has been going on for over a year at this point. But that's what he said. So I don't know.
It's just more talk. He's trying to talk up the market. He does not want the market down. He continues to say, how well the market is done under his watch.
And he specifically cited Walmart. He loved Walmart's earnings, as in the rest of us.
Yeah, I've never seen a president so involved in the stock market before. Like so watching, talking about the stock market so much. I feel more like it should be his job to run the country and the stock market will follow, but we're not a political show here. I just am surprised at how much, that this president talks about the market and how much influence he has over the market. So anyways, that's a little bit what kickstarted the rally last night, because obviously positive commentary from Trump here once again as the market shows weakness. But can he hold the market up? Breaking down, Joel, and looking at, I ran some scans last
Before
night.
you do that, he is working on another very important initiative.
What?
Buying Greenland.
Where'd that come from? What's that all about? I saw that headline go by too, and I was like, what?
So what do you buy? Is there?
I'll tell you.
Even with global warming, obviously doesn't believe in global warming.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what we are looking into buying, because Greenland, the official Greenland Twitter account tweeted like 15 minutes ago, rich in minerals, the purest water and ice, fish stocks, seafood, renewable energy, and is a new frontier for adventure tourism. We're open for business, not for sale. Learn more at Greenland.com. So Greenland talking itself up here this morning. If I could buy stock in Greenland, maybe I would.
Yeah.
What's the ETF? Is it GRN or?
Yeah,
sure.
This is ridiculous. All ridiculousness. I'm ignoring the Greenland. I ignored the Greenland headline. I don't know how you trade the Greenland headline, so completely ignored here.
You don't.
Jump over to these scams, because in my Twitter account, I had somebody tweet. I just noticed it. Go by my Twitter account. There was a number of stocks that were down 50% in the last 90 days, a number of retailers. These are not stocks that are going to be surprising to you. Bed Bath & Beyond, we've talked and hated this stock for a long time correctly. It's $7.49 now in the pre-market. GameStop, one we've talked about and hated forever in the show. JCPenney, one we've talked about and hated forever on the show. Signet Jewelers, we talked about it, but wow. I had not looked at Signet for a while. It's $11 here now. I mean, people were asking me this stock about at 40. And I was like, I don't know. I don't see a lot of people wearing jewelry anymore. Apparently, I should have shorted on that, because now $11. Tough times. A couple other ones. One that surprised me a bit was Briggs Stratton. I hadn't looked at this for a while, BGG. But look at the chart of this one. I mean, this is a stock that makes your motors for your lawnmowers, correct? I mean, we're not cutting grass anymore. Don't need grass. I don't know, but wow. $4.59. This is a stock that's been around for a long time. These charts all look like all these stocks are going out of business, and I think that they might. So it's scary when you look at these charts. So then I just decided to extend the search a little bit further. We knew I ran the oil stocks. And I was like, okay, well, you got a whole plethora of oil stocks that are down 50% in the last 90 days. Stocks like WLL, which is Whiting Petroleum, stocks like Neighbors Industry, NBR, Range Resources, RRC, SWN. I mean, these companies all look like they're going out of business. Scary stocks. But then if you want to look even farther, I mean, well, back to retail. I missed one that I want to talk about, because we've talked about this on the show too. The $30 scissor company, Michaels. I mean, we've been right on all these, Joel. I mean, sometimes we get stuff right, sometimes we get stuff wrong, but we've hated all these stocks. This Michaels stock is now $5. Last time I looked at this was like 15. So I don't know what happened last 30 days, but this looks like it's in trouble here too. So many stocks that are retail and oil-based look like they're going out of business. First of all, what does that mean for the banks? Because there's going to be some debt here if these companies do go out of business. That is probably going to be bad. Secondly, even more so for the banks, is did you see Deutsche Bank lately? I mean, I hadn't been looking. You're not hearing on the news anything about Deutsche Bank right now, because there's so much other issues over here. Look at the European banks, what's going on. So it's not just Deutsche Bank. Barclays, BCS, down from $8 to $6.59 in the last 2.5 weeks. Credit Suisse, same chart. ING, same chart, down $9 here now. It doesn't even look like it's just a Deutsche Bank issue anymore. It looks like it's a major European bank issue. So European, are they, we've talked about it for a long time, that it's the wild card there, that they could have their financial crisis coming. These stocks are really starting to price like their financial crisis is coming. I mean, call it the inverted yield curve. I know obviously rates are negative over in some of these countries, and that's a major issue for them, especially when you're borrowing short and lending long. But I mean, there was issues way before this yield curve inverted over here. Deutsche Bank looks like a mess.
I looked at the chart and you mentioned that, and we have it. I mean, that's trading at multi-year lows here at 650, 653. It's trading up a little bit, but over the last week, moving with the U.S. banks, you mentioned BCS. That's trading at the low of its move. Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS trading at the lows of the moves. I mean, I hope this is certainly not a precursor for the U.S. banks.
Well, look, and you can say, oh, how do you not buy? I see it all the time. These people on CNBC talking about the banks and saying, look, Bank of America's trading below buck, Citigroup's trading below buck. Look at the yields. Look at the PEs trading 7 and 8. Look at the potential problems here, guys. I mean, we've talked about this is why, and if you've been listening to the show for any time, I've been underexposed the banks in my portfolio for basically a decade because I got burned a little bit in the financial crisis and I was like, never again. But I mean, I've got almost zero exposure for a long time here to the banks. And it's because I was always worried about Deutsche Bank. So that was one worry. The second worry is something we've cited. These oil companies are going out of business. If some of these retailers are going out of business, there's probably some bad debt out there. I mean, is that going to bring them down? Probably not. It's not like the housing bubble, but it's not going to be helpful. And then you got the whole aspect of this inverted yield curve and them obviously borrowing short-term and lending long-term and saying, how the hell are they making money? How are they going to make money going forward? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, they're going to make some money. They're still doing it from fees. They're doing it from other stuff. But to think that their margins are going to be squeezed is a probable situation. So I don't see the growth happening here at all. So there wasn't much growth to begin with. And now you wonder if they can grow at all, or potentially these earnings might start to go down. So you look at stocks like Bank of America, Citigroup that are down 15% in the last couple of weeks, and you think they're cheap. But man, with all this other stuff going on, you got to think they might get cheaper.
You just said book value, right? So book value, if you have to write down assets, then the book value that you're looking at is not the true book value, right?
And it's potential, and we don't know for sure if some of these companies going out of business, but you look at these charts and how much debt is out there. These aren't huge companies. These aren't major bankruptcies. So they're going to be able to swallow most of this. But I mean, you get a bunch of them at the same time. I mean, look at Whiting Petroleum, WLL. This was a darling at one time. I mean, this stock was $55 back just a year ago.
$55, Dennis. What about when it was $350?
Yeah, well, you're going back 2014. It was $371. It's $8. I mean, stocks that go from $371 to $8 usually continue their road to zero. I'm sorry. I know there's lots of people that buy these things and saying eventually it's going to come back. I don't believe it's the case in most of these companies. I don't know which ones. Some might come back. Some might survive. But these charts are telling me a different story. I just think that a lot of these companies are going belly up. And we've talked about rig, we joke about Halliburton all the time being down every day, and it's true. But a lot of these smaller companies are already well on their way. We don't give these the love because they're not as well, they're not a dollar stock. I mean, there's not as exciting to trade here anymore. All the meat's basically been picked off the bone from the shorts. So, Range Resources, $18 a year ago, it's $4. SWN, which is Southwestern Energy, was $6. Now it's $1.70. These things are all just a mess. And so you got retail up in shambles. You got oil stocks up in shambles. The banks look unhealthy to me. So the only thing that's been holding us up, really.
Before you move on to what's holding us up, Sal, who's new to the chat, has been adding some good input. Take a look at DK. You ever trade that thing?
No. I've traded it before, but I don't follow this company at all.
Look at the chart.
What's that?
Look at the chart.
Yeah, it's just straight down. I mean, this is like a pure smooth move. I mean, if you've been shorting 2 weeks ago, man, these trends have been really smooth to the downside. I know like a lot of people are long bias only. Obviously, I trade hedged all the time, so I have equal longs and equal shorts. Man, I wish I would have had some shorts on some of these stocks. This has been the easiest trade. Just shorting like Halliburton, like we've been talking about too. I mean, the thing goes down every bloody day. I mean, eventually it's going to need to have a dead cat bounce because things don't go straight down. But any bounce in any of these things, think about the overhead supply in all these stocks that we just mentioned, like a Michaels. I never got the big, huge scrapbook store anyways. I mean, scrapbooking, I feel like it's still a little bit of a fad, and it's dying off because you know why? People are on Pinterest. Like my wife used to, 10 years ago, my wife used scrapbooking and stuff. Now it's all online. What do you need to the physics? So you have, obviously some older people maybe, but the young people aren't going and doing scrapbooking. And this is basically a big craft store. The younger people, I don't believe, are doing that as much. And this is showing in the price. So when you can identify these change in secular trends, you can make a lot of money. Shorting that Michaels in the last year, or even in the last, go back farther than that, in the last couple of years, has been a fantastic trade. And I think a lot of these companies is huge. Think about that store. It's huge. I mean, it's full of crafts and it's huge. Well, you have the online craft store, Etsy. That's not helping.
You know what? It's the millennials. They're gonna live in like the Google neighborhoods that Spencer talks about, and they're not gonna have any grass, right? So they're not gonna need lawnmowers, and they're not gonna be scrapbooking. So that's I guess we could blame the millennials for.
Rob Hood is saying explain Etsy. I mean, Etsy is people making crafts and people buying them. So like my brother-in-law sells woodworking on Etsy. So it's personalized gifts. It's not people sitting there and making the crafts themselves. It's other people making it and selling the stuff. But it's not even just crafts. It's all kinds of different stuff. Obviously, the charts tell the story. I mean, Michaels is getting hit for obvious reasons, in my opinion. And they're huge stores. How do you, like, I just don't know how the expenses that are running a store like that have got to be just enormous. So it's all retail altogether. So, I mean, that's a big issue as well. But I think we've been talking about some of these stocks for a while. So some of these stories are not surprising.
I was reading, I'm trying to find the article now, but I was reading it yesterday or the day before, just retail space per person, like US versus the world. And I wish I could find the article, or I don't wish I could even remember the site that I read it on, but it was the US has just way more retail space per person than any other country in the world. It's like Germany, it has like a fraction. Right, the Europe they all have like a fraction of what we have. So you're right; these stores are big and they have just too much stuff. People, I don't think people are not scrapbooking. It's just when they want a scrapbook, they just go on Amazon, right? And they buy
That
what
too.
they buy what they
That
need.
too. But I think less people are scrapbooking.
Okay, well, scrapbooking or not, regardless, I think. Oh, here it is. I found the article. I'll throw it in the chat right now. So, the U.S. has 23 square feet per person. 23 square feet of retail space per person. Germany has 2 square feet per person. Retail space per person, right? So the Canada has 17, Australia has 11, the UK has 5, France has 5. So there's just so much space in the US retail space that is just not. There was a boom in the 80s and the 90s, and now we're contracting, and that's just
A
the way it
little
goes.
bit of that could be geography, though, related, right? Like, think about how much bigger, from a geography perspective, the US and Canada is compared to Australia and the UK. There's not as much land. So I guess they have to use their land more efficiently, maybe. Could that be something to do with that? I'm just, I'm not.
Maybe,
Well, the
but
big box is
here,
toast. I mean,
But we've
yeah.
seen it. I mean, but they're not toast all the big boxes because Walmart and Target have done very well. So it's selective still.
Yep.
But I mean, we've seen, what's happened to Macy's, Nordstrom, Kohl's. So you can't just say, and Home Depot's done very well too. So you can't just say big box is toast.
yeah, that's
Mall-based,
Costco.
mall-based stuff is what is really the issue. Because you think about Kohl's is not, but it's always beside them all. But you got Nordstrom, Macy's. Those are all big box, mall-based. The standalone plazas with the big box stores, with the Home Depots and Walmarts, the Lowe's. Those are all still doing well. So I wouldn't say just big box. I would
It's
just say,
the same thing goes for every industry. When an industry contracts, the best of breed will take over and everyone else dies. It's the same thing for newspapers. There are like two left, two big ones, two or three big ones. Everyone else is dying. It'll be the same thing for retail stores. Two or three will survive and everyone else will die. That's just kind of the way it goes. The cream will rise and everyone else will die. So in this case, Target, Home Depot, Walmart, and maybe Kohl's and everyone else is sort of going to fall off. But let's go to GE here. We've been on this for a while, but I want to talk about this GE move from yesterday. So Larry Culp is playing the only card he can play. He bought 252,000 shares at an average price of $7.93. He announced that yesterday. So
you bought it yesterday.
Yes. So either he knows something that no one else knows, or he's playing the only card in his deck.
I think he's playing the only card in his deck. And there was another exec that actually bought stock yesterday too. And they're like, if you're sitting there and your stock is getting trashed and you're like, what the hell, and you're not believing this report, maybe, because the guy what's his name again? The person I've saw him on, multiple and seen me see a couple times here already. What's his name?
Larry Culp, or are you talking about Harry?
No, not the geez. The guy that made the allegations yesterday.
Harry Markopoulos.
Anyways, I watched the interview. There was an excellent interview on Yahoo Finance with him. I watched a 10-minute interview last night. He's very well spoken. I mean, and he watches what he says. Like, he's very, very careful with how he's saying stuff. So I know they're coming out and saying, we don't believe any, we can't believe any of this stuff in this 170-page report. GE's defending themselves as best they can. But what he made was a good point. He's like, their financials are such a mess, the way that they're putting it all together, that he says nobody can understand these financials. So he was like implying that Culp probably doesn't even understand these financials of his own company. That's what he was implying on that interview. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if any of these allegations are true, like calling it maybe it's a little bit exaggerated to call it a WorldCom or an Enron. But can there be issues here with how they're doing some of this accounting? Maybe there can. I mean, they really beat that up yesterday. Maybe it's just nothing. Maybe it's going to bounce back. But let's just say there is no issues with their accounting. You're still buying a broken company here. This company's stock was broken long before this short seller or this person attacked the company yesterday. This stock has been broken forever. It's been broken for years. So why be a hero and come in here and say, I'm buying G at 835. I'm going to put in my long-term portfolio because it's going to be okay. There's a ton of debt here. The businesses, this has been one of the best environments for a lot of, GE core businesses. You look at their competitors like Honeywell in a lot of their businesses, and the stock has done fabulously over the last 10 years. They've done everything wrong. This has been worst of breed. So could they be doing their accounting wrong too? Maybe it's not even fraud. Maybe they just don't know what they're doing there either. So, this is just me talking, all my opinion here.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, how can you come in as an investor? Because what if some of this stuff is true? They've messed up everything else. What's to say they don't mess up their financials too? It might not even be intentionally. They might not know what the hell they're doing.
I wonder why we don't hear from Jack Welch on these issues.
Jack Welch has got to be just looking at this and just shaking his head, because he built that company over all those years. And, and some people are blaming Welch for some of the stuff. They left a lot of stuff. But let's be honest, when he left this company back, 2000, what year was Jack Welch leave?
Like 2000-ish.
Yeah. The stock was at all-time highs and everything was going right. And he's got to look at this and say, what happened to my company? I mean, I don't know if it's the CEOs that have brought it down, or maybe there was a lot of issues that Jack Welch left, but man, this company has fallen from grace. When I was in university, and there was like this, and when I went through my business degree, the one course was like the CEO course. They like teach you, how to be like a CEO. And Jack Welch was like their person that everybody they were trying to teach you to be like. And because GE had been built into the most fabulously run company in the world. This was in 1998.
Dennis, what happened?
20 years later, and you look at GE and you think, what happened? Exactly. What happened?
No, I meant what happened to you?
With what?
I thought you were trained to be like Jack Welch.
Well, that was one course. I liked all the trading courses better.
Okay.
I didn't want to be a CEO. I didn't want to manage people. I'm kind of, a little bit too outspoken, maybe. I'd not be a good people manager.
Oh, no.
I'm a trader. Anyway,
I was going to say, I think what Jack Welch did, and no denying he was a great CEO for a very long time, but the acquisitions may have hit some problems. They grew by acquisition for so long, and also their products used to last such a long time that no one needs new GE appliances, because I just recently
forever.
Yeah, they last forever. I saw a fridge last year that must have been from the 50s that was still working fine. So
the old stuff really did last.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the problem, and stuff lasted too long. I don't know.
It's the same thing with like Gilead. They cured
they cured that, and that brought the stock down. The drug was too good.
Yep. Yep. Just real quick, the price action here, GE is getting a pop, but it's not getting back nearly any of those losses. We're up 32 cents at 833. That's a high of the pre-market session. Triple D, you did a good job yesterday. I know you came in long that one, and you were just bound and determined. Just you didn't care when. You just wanted out. You just cut your loss. Were you able to wiggle out before the open? Because
On
man,
GE?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had it overnight. So, this overnight trade, sometimes I'm going to have the stock overnight. I've got 38 overnight positions right now. These are all trades I'm going to be getting out of here at the open or in the first half an hour of trading. And I had some GE long overnight just coincidentally into that report. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, sell. So you don't sit back and hope to get your money back. I was like, this is terrible. Reading that. It broke at like 655. I sold it. I missed the first like 5 minutes because you're doing something else. You're like, what's going on GE? It was down 30 cents at the time. I'm like, eat it and get out. And that was obviously a good loss to take. You got to take, as a trader, you got to take those losses. You can't play around. I don't even hesitate. It doesn't bother me to take a loss. I'm not going to sit in there and watch the thing collapse and then just hope to get my money back. I'm like, there is new news here. The stock is still pricing that new news. This looks terrible. I'm getting the hell out. And obviously the stock fell another $1 after that. So it was a very good sale. I mean, that's what you got to do as a trader. You got to be disciplined. You've got to take those losses. When new information comes in, if you're in a stock because the chart looks pretty and all of a sudden it gets downgraded, it's going down. I don't care what the chart looks like. I mean, so many people rely just on charts. And that's maybe if you're just an intraday trader, maybe you can get away with it. But I trade overnight. I trade a lot of other things, and news happens. And news is more influential than anything else. Headlines is what moves stocks. Yes, charts, in the absence of news can be helpful. But once news comes in, the chart doesn't matter. If the news is bad, the chart can look as pretty as you want, and it's going down. So you've got to have the discipline to get the hell out, especially when you're facing negative news in your long position.
I think for GE, you just have to look at that close of 903, and yeah, you got the hit. So I mean, until this thing gets back above $9, you got a nice gap between 863 and 903. So I don't even know if you'll see the high today at 863, but it's kind of gappy after that up to the close of 903. Also, just when doing some research, I guess some of the big boys really piled into this in the first and second quarter. So they're having to yak it out. So there's a ton of overhead supply here. So until this issue is resolved, and wasn't there already accounting issues with GE? Was it that part?
I don't know. Like the one person was on CNBC and saying a lot of stuff that was in this report was already known.
Yeah.
So they wasn't denying the allegations. This other analyst that was on CNBC this morning was saying a lot of the stuff was already known. So I don't know what's known. I don't know what's not known. All I know is that was a very negative report, negative for the stock. I happened to be long it overnight. It was an overnight trade, and I was like, I got to get out. You're in it for a little arb because it's part of the S&P 500, and I got a small position in it because I'm doing the index arb. And I'm like, get out. It's got bad news. You got to get out.
Also worth pointing out that Mr. Markopoulos is working with an undisclosed hedge fund, and he's not doing this out of the goodness of his heart.
Okay,
so there's all this stuff. So, but even let's just say it's all false. Let's just say this is entirely false, and the execs, that are coming here and giving the stock the vote of confidence by purchasing it this morning are trying to say that it is false. Let's just assume that it is all false and those execs are right. You're still buying a company with all sorts of problems. I don't like buying problems. I like selling problems. So I'm not buying GE for that reason.
Let's talk. A good report. Let's talk about NVDA.
Finally.
Hey, look, finally one in my long-term portfolio goes up. My long-term portfolio has just been decimated this earnings season and last earnings season. Man, I got some bad stocks in the long-term portfolio.
Something to feel good about this morning. NVIDIA beat on their EPS and beat on their sales, $1.24 versus $1.14 on the EPS, 2.58 versus 2.55 billion on the sales. The Q3 sales guidance was in line. So some good news finally this morning.
Nice that NVIDIA is trading higher. But it's leaking too. I'm not liking this. Thoughts, Joel?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. Give me a If I'm needing to go long, put me a 160 1/4.
Yeah.
Stop close only. It gets above there, closes above there. Yeah, I'll take a peek. Pre-market high comes right in there at 59.80. You haven't been able to get back up to that level. So when you fade off a level, it's very important. Also close to that psychological 160 level. Not much on the daily charts to give you that 58.31, and then it opens up. But I'd be looking for this thing to get up to the pre-market high, take it up, keep on going, get above 160 if it's going to run. But this is not the NVIDIA of old. You got overhead supply you had that nice run up from the 130 to 180. Now you came back down. Now you have some people scratching your head. You got a gap to fill here. I mean, I'd have a hard time, buying it. Like I said, stop close only. 160 1/4 in this. If not, I'd to have some people taking some money off the
I
table.
have it in the long-term portfolio. It has not performed well. I mean, I've been all over the place, and it hasn't performed poorly. It hasn't performed well. But I'm not liking this chart here again. So here I am, the only person that talks against my long-term portfolio because I try not to trade it. But as a trader in me, I think you almost got to fade the pot because it just doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look like it wants to keep going here. It's leaking. We got a tape that's going straight up. NVIDIA's lost 2 points since last night in this tape. I think people are taking profits. Part of me wants to go in the long-term portfolio and dump it out, but you're trying to stick that stuff and leave it there and forget about it. And my wife says, stop trading the long-term portfolio, just like your wife tells you the same thing, Joel. It's hard as traders. You're always separating those two hats, trader versus investor, but this does not look healthy. I mean, it's up $7 and it looks like it's leaking. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gives a lot of it back over the next few days. I mean, we've seen this in this tape. This tape is hard to buy stocks trading way up. Even the ones that report good earnings like Facebook, you look at them a week and a half later and they give it all back. And the ones that report bad earnings just continue to go down. So Intel had a great report. Remember, it's trading 55 after hours. You look at it a week and a half later, it's 45. I mean, it's a tough market to be chasing stocks in. And it's always tough to chase stocks, but it's a tougher one to be chasing them when they're going up. This market is a lot weaker than it really looks.
Was imbalances? I know they've become a little bit quieter here with the volatility in the markets. Do you got anything notable in
GE 277,000 to buy? That's because the exec purchases, obviously. Southern SO 39,000 to buy. Keep an eye on that. That's ex-dividend today. So that could be somebody that's just not realizing it's ex-dividend. They put their price too high. That might actually be a good fade on a day that the TLT is leaking. So I'd be more inclined to sell that and at the open. They're small. Again, it's the same. Disney 29,000 to buy. I don't know. There's not much there.
You're mixed. Let's do John Deere earnings, and then we'll get to our guest here at 8:35.
All right, DE reporting this morning Q3 adjusted EPS of $2.71, missed the $2.85 estimate. Sales $8.97 billion versus a $9.39 billion estimate. So they missed on the top and they missed on the bottom. For the third quarter, they gave some full year net income guidance. They cut that as well from $3.3 billion to $3.2 billion. They lowered their sales growth guidance from 5% to 4%. So a miss and a cut.
And the stock really got hit on this, but it's coming back. So opposite of NVIDIA problem is that this is actually showing some life. So they hit it pretty good, but they're hitting it down. Look where it gets down to, too. You start looking at all those lows back in May, the 135 to 140 area, lots of support in there. Kind of bounced off that support. So I'd say as long as it holds those pre-market lows,
yep,
actually looks a little healthier than NVIDIA.
And I think if you pound it back towards those lows, I think you find buyers. I mean, you did get
I think so.
138.50. And then if you're looking for some upside on this one, a lot of people, after seeing it trade down to 138.50, the close is 143.71. But what's interesting here, as of right now, after that report, you are still a stick above the low from yesterday, 141.25. So first things first, let's see what happens at 141.25.
All right, let's bring on today's guest, Jerremy Newsome, a longtime friend of the program. He is the founder of reallifetrading.com. I see a lot of his inspirational and aspirational posts on Facebook a lot. Jeremy, are you with us this morning? Good morning.
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Phenomenal, man. Incredible.
Good. What's on your radar here this morning?
Everything. This is going to be an interesting day because I'm looking over.
Jeremy,
What's up, Joel?
I'm going to stop you here. Okay.
Okay.
I got a new segment here because Dennis and I got all serious yesterday and everyone got upset. We got in a big argument on the show and he never apologized. So I'm going to do a new segment today and I'm going to start it out with you guys, right? And now I'm going to explain the rules. It's called Hot Potato.
Okay.
You guys remember the game Hot Potato as a kid?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do 3 different categories. All right. And from the category, all right, you got to, Jeremy, I'm going to start with you and you're going to give me an answer, right? You got 3 seconds to give me a correct answer. And
Okay.
then it's your turn. All right. And we do it until someone messes up. And we got 3 different categories to do. Okay.
Let's do it.
Scared.
Do you understand it?
Sure.
Are there any
I'm in.
questions? Okay, Jeremy, I'm going to start with you. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. What'd you say? Hold on 1 second.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
This is
Oh,
the
the
first time
suspense
I'm
is
doing it.
killing me.
Wait, first of all, also I want to say no pulling up, don't use the internet. Okay. In chat, do not help them out. If you help them out, you're going to be permanently banned from the show. Okay. Jeremy?
I am scared here.
This is
Jeremy.
pressure,
What's
man.
got
This is
stored
pressure.
for us
Oh, I
here?
forgot to tell the prize. Okay. Dennis, all right. If you win, you can remain the co-host of PreMarket Prep.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose my job here.
Jeremy,
This is like serious.
if you win, you're going to be the new co-host of PreMarket Prep.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, Dennis, you better buckle up, man.
Fired. I can't be that Jeremy Newsome guy. That guy's good, man. I want to be put up against somebody easy. Jeremy's
Pressure.
good.
I don't even know what this competition is. Let's find
Okay.
out.
All right, Jeremy, I want you at the top 13 stocks by market cap in the S&P 500. Go.
Top 13 stocks. Apple, Facebook.
Well, no, just one. Dennis, you go.
Google.
And we're only using one Google. Correct. Go.
Facebook.
Microsoft.
Visa.
Oh, ExxonMobil still there?
JP Morgan.
No, I forgot. Dennis, on the this is for you on the ExxonMobil.
I should have known. It's been going straight down. I just thought it was strong enough.
My bad. No,
It's a
ExxonMobil.
hard thing to just think of them all like that
All
off the
right,
blue.
Jeremy, you got it. You got an act there. Okay, Jeremy, you go.
Oh, he's gonna rock me.
JP Morgan.
It's a new question. You got that one.
it's
You
the
won
same
that round.
question.
What's the next
Dennis,
question?
I was wrong on the buzzer. Go.
Oh, I was wrong. ExxonMobil's still there?
Yeah, it snuck in. Yep.
Oh my goodness! Throw this whole thing out.
Keep
I
going,
was right
Dennis.
the whole time. I already stopped thinking. I don't even know what one Jeremy just said. What did he just say?
JP Morgan was my answer.
Did we say Apple yet?
Nope.
Yeah, that was my first one.
All
I
right.
never heard Apple.
Okay. All right, Dennis. 1, 2.
Apple, Google. So I don't know what's been said. We got to be writing them down.
Come on, Dennis.
Did I say
I'm
them
going to give you 3. 1001, 1002.
Chevron.
Okay, Jeremy won that segment. Okay. All right.
Wait, doesn't Jeremy have to say the next one to win?
No, that's not the way we do it. Okay. I messed it up. Hey, this is a new segment. Okay. All right, Dennis, you're going to start in this one. Okay. According to Wayne Dugan, all right, through the first half of 2019, name me, we're going to do 9 of the top stocks for the first half of 2019.
Roku.
Hold on. Let me check my list.
Roku's got to be number 1. What is this in S&P 500?
Yeah, S&P.
Oh, you got to say that.
Nope. This is
Any stocks.
S&P 500. It is S&P 500. Roku's not in.
It is.
Well, Roku's not on the S&P 500, so you got to specify that. So I don't get buzzed for Roku. It's on the S&P 500. You said name one of the top stocks. Roku's like the best stock.
Joel didn't specify on the S&P 500.
You know what? When I was in grade 1. This reminds me of when I was in grade 1, and it was a spelling competition, and they said spell there. And I went THEIR, and the teacher says wrong there. We didn't put it in a sentence, teacher. I could be right. I didn't know you were thinking THERE.
I got a similar story about that.
It was in the S&P 500 when you started.
Okay, best stocks. All right, Dennis, start.
Where'd you get the buzzer from?
I figured it out myself. Okay, go ahead, Dennis. Best stocks S&P 500 of 2019.
Oh man, you got to go small cap is the problem. I don't know what the little
There's
ones
some
are.
big stocks in here. Come on, you can't name one?
It's a top 10, and you're trying to do the top 10, and there's a ton of them. Apple. I'll go Apple. Like 40% this year. It's not good enough.
No. All right, Jeremy.
Starbucks.
Okay.
This is hard.
Okay.
You're making us look dumb.
I thought you guys would crush this. I'm really.
Man.
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers memorized on everything. You're telling me to get the top 10 of the S&P 500.
Here are the best stocks.
It's probably all small little stocks that have
the
like
big
$5
stocks.
billion
Quiet,
market.
and let me tell you for a second.
Give us one.
Xerox.
Why would I ever think of Xerox? This is a dumb game. Why would we ever think of Xerox?
Xerox.
Xerox?
I didn't even know that was still on the S&P.
I didn't either.
Cody.
That company was created so that they could
photocopy
use
company?
the letter X.
Cody.
That was it.
Cody, would you guys let me finish? Cody. And here's one you guys totally missed. AMD.
That's fair.
AMD, yeah. That makes sense.
CMG.
Yeah, should have known that.
Yeah, that'd been a good one.
MSCI.
Who's thinking of that?
Total System Services.
Holy, look at he's going right out. Oh, we just know the Total System Services is one of the best performers.
Okay. All right. You know, we'll throw out that category and we're going to.
No, it's fine. It's fun.
No, because no one won it. Okay. And I'm going to be really clear on this one. Dennis, we're starting with you. And if you don't win this one, then you're really sandbagging. The 10 worst stocks in the S&P 500 through the first half of 2019.
Okay.
The 10
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Hold
That
on.
in there? Used to be.
Let me look at my list and
Are you going to get like a
Might
positive
not be in there anymore.
Wait,
Do
what
you have that sound as well?
No. It's Dennis, the buzzer's not working, but it's not in there.
It's not in the S&P. I thought it was at one time.
Oh, man.
Jeremy,
Man, this is hard.
for the win, one of the 10 worst stocks in the S&P 500 in 2019.
General Electric. It's absolutely on that list.
No, it's not. It's
Oh,
not.
this is hard. It's
guys
one of the
are
worst stocks in
horrible.
last week.
I could bring on Lisa and she would do better than this.
Oh,
It's easy when you got the answers in front of you.
Come on, Dennis. You were just talking about it on the show today. All these stocks that were getting.
American Airlines.
No, I wish my
All the
buzzer.
oil stocks. Let's go like
Nordstrom.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
you got a second guess though. Yeah.
You win. I'll give you
Macy's
this
in
one.
there.
What'd you say?
Macy's.
Yes. There you go. Mason.
Hey, we got the positive buzzer. I was
Oh,
waiting
we never
for
get the positive buzzer. He's making us look dumb, Jeremy.
that.
It's
I felt smart before I did this game show. I was like, man, I'm not
This is hard.
okay. It's Nordstrom, Fossil, Urban Outfitters, Gap, Mylan,
All retail.
Macy's, Kraft Heinz, Kohl's,
Got to be some oil in there too. Is it some oil?
and MAC. No, there's no. This is just the first half of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Final category. Okay, for you guys, and I don't even know who's winning and who's losing.
Jeremy's winning.
Well, this is going to be the determinant. And Dennis, I'll give you another shot next week if you lose. Okay. I want
very well at all.
The New York Stock Exchange last week, according to Barron's, give me the top 9 companies by share volume.
That traded on the New York
The
Stock
actual
Exchange?
shares. They trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Share volume. Dennis, I'll let you go first.
Bank America.
That's a great one. So SPY doesn't count, probably.
No, it does not.
Okay.
Companies.
AMD.
Not there?
Nope. It's
I would have thought it was there.
nope. This is for last week. It was Chesapeake, number 1, Bank of America,
Yeah, I think of these $3 stocks.
General Electric, Ford, Teva,
all the stocks under $10 because the volume's higher.
Snap, AT&T, and then here's a surprise one, ABBV.
These were, yeah. So I picked the one. I see. So you on the New York Stock Exchange. I got that part wrong.
And Pfizer was so. Okay, all right. Let me.
It was a fun game. It was a fun game. I think we tied actually.
That was a good time.
I won one, he won one, and then we both lost. You buzzed us both on the middle one. So
that was good.
So that means we're both the hosts.
Everybody
wins.
That was fun.
Like grade school, when you have a tie, you're both winners.
That's right.
Do you want to hear my my spelling bee story? Tragedy.
Yeah.
6th grade, I was like a shoe-in for the top 6, to go to the finals. And I was like, and there were 7 people left. And I was just like daydreaming. And the guy Mr. Mecklemson said, tongue. And I'm like, and I thought he said tongue. And so I left the U out, and Haley England made it to the finals instead of me.
Haley England, if you're listening,
remembers the name too. Haley, if you're listening to the show, shout out to you. You beat Joel in that spelling bee.
Making it to the finals. That is a memory of an elephant, Joel.
Brent says he loved the segment.
It was fun.
Absolutely loved the segment. Anyways,
I had fun. I love this segment too. It was fun.
I agree. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I will happily lose to Dennis in anything that I do in my whole life.
We tied. We didn't lose.
Yeah.
I won one, you won one. We both lost that other category.
You both get participation trophies.
You know what? My wall is full of green participation ribbons because every track and field meet that I got, I never won anything. I was not athletic. Never was an athlete. Got lots of nice participation ribbons though, so I like participation ribbons.
I love it.
All right, Jeremy, what's on the radar for today?
So, man, here's the thing. I got to find stocks that are gapping down because everything is up, right? And one of 2 things happens. I think NVDA does fade. So I agree with Dennis. I think it leaks almost at open. The gaps that are happening right now in the market are almost too bullish. So everything is bullish. I'm guessing we either just crush higher or we have to fade, right? I mean, this is amazing. The gaps out there, like Amazon is incredible, Square is incredible, Disney's incredible, Netflix is good, NVIDIA is very interesting. I'm thinking I've got to look for gap downs today, and I'm looking for if it runs. I mean, the market either runs majestically like a unicorn today or fades it open. I mean, there's no other choice.
Yep.
I'm fading it too. I'm on the same side as you here, Jeremy. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing considering how we just did in that game show, but I agree with you. I think this rally is a fade as well.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, if it runs, it runs, but I mean that's fine. But yeah, this is just so strong. It's almost too good.
So you're thinking because if they gap down in this tape that they're even weaker, the weakest of the weak, and you're going to pick on them?
Yep, I'm gonna go pick on them. Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
You're totally correct.
Okay.
Jeremy, he likes picking on those stocks. I agree with it. We actually talked right at the beginning of the show. We were talking about the easy money that's been made in shorting these like dogs, like even like Halliburton, and we looked at Michaels and we looked at Bed Bath and Beyond. And I mean, these stocks have just been straight down. They go down look at that Bed Bath and Beyond. How many down days in a row has that had? Or I'm sorry, I was looking at a weekly chart. Anyways, there's a ton of down days in there too. That's the smoothest chart, straight down, triple BY.
Just from $18 to $7.
Look at that trend. Take your Jeff Mackey purple crayon and draw that on there, man. That thing is smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth. Criminal right there.
Yeah. JC Penney, Macy's, and BBBY all going to have a queue before too long.
I think so. I think you're right.
Jerremy, I just want to ask you here, just like going a little macro on you here and stuff, like oh, this inverted yield curve and all this trade talk and everything. I mean, how much of your trading day do you spend analyzing all of that?
I'm too dumb, so I don't spend that much time analyzing it. I spent about an hour on it last night, reading through some historical charts and going through Twitter of all the people who put in the work. And looking at historical evidence, like 8 out of 9 times that it's happened, we don't get a big crash for like another 18 months usually. Uh-huh. So I still think we go higher. I still think we make new all-time highs again eventually. And then we'll have some issues, but this is just a nice, calm, collective warning of what could happen and what will happen at some point when the market actually has some pullbacks. You know, we'll have that 1,000-point day on the Dow. It's just, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Okay, and you mentioned any swing trades this month. I know you tweeted out that the intraday trading's been going for you. The swing trading, is it just too many big moves here, not taking profits? What's it been with the swing trades this month?
Yeah, man, I've been swing trading like a rock swims in August. So that expression. It's been tough. My day trading has been fantastic. My swing trading has been pretty deplorable, just mostly because, the swings, the volatility, I was long on some things because I do think that we're going to bounce. I had some long positions. The only thing that I won on was silver and Uber was bearish. So that was it. Other than that, I lost on every swing trade that I've placed this month. Every single one of them.
You know, it's just been such a tough month for anything trending. I mean, we've just been chopped. There's been so much chop. So, and, in this type of environment, on your swing trades, you're getting stopped out on both sides. It's like a really tough environment. All this.
Yeah, it's not like exactly. It wasn't like I didn't try to have some bearish swings as well. It's just you're exactly right.
Really tough environment for swing trading. I agree with you. Really tough environment for investing. My investing account has just been all chopped up there too. You think, okay, I'm gonna buy these pullbacks and stuff. The day trading, like you said, has been great because it's been some nice little wicked day trading trends.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Day trading,
investing, prefer the birds this environment. So investment account stinks right now. The day trading account's kicking butt. So completely agree with you.
One stock before we let you go. Do you still got Ashley and Square there? I know you swapped out the Netflix near the all-time highs on that for her, and you're still in it. Did we talk about Square yesterday, Dennis? I can't remember.
We usually talk about Square every day, but
okay. She is. So her big holdings right now are Pinterest, 10-cent holdings, and Square. Not necessarily in that order, but close, I think. Okay. So she bought more Square yesterday, I believe, at the 100 simple moving average on the weekly chart. So I think it's like 61.50, something like that. So she bought a little bit more because we both think that gap from earnings will fill before next earnings.
I mean, and you guys are probably really going to get mad at me for saying this, but I don't know. Is it kind of a Bitcoin stock?
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
They get a little bit. They could get a little bit of revenue from that. That when Bitcoin was hot, they were trying to say, "Oh, Square is a Bitcoin stock." Not at all.
No,
Square,
at all.
Square is a commerce stock. If you believe in commerce, not just retail, but commerce, then you believe in Square.
I think it's just all little merchants are going there. I think there's I love this story. Yeah. I think you're getting a good story at, obviously valuation is still an issue here, but I think it can grow into that valuation. That's why I've added it down here as well into the long-term portfolio. I believe in the story. I might be wrong, but I believe in the story.
Yeah, I can say if this area doesn't hold on Square, we're probably going to see 50. and then people can really freak out. But we'll see, man. I mean, I don't think that Square has zero impact from anything that's happening in China right now, fundamentally. And I agree with Spencer. If you like not even e-commerce, just local mom and pop, small business, just not the massive companies like Walmart, but if you go to Jenny's Ice Cream in Nashville, Tennessee, you're going to get some Square registers. So yeah, I'm still a fan of it down here.
Okay. All right, Jeremy. Sorry for
It's a great question, man. No, it's a phenomenal question. Thank you for caring about me and what we're in, man. That makes my heart happy.
No. Also about that segment there. It didn't.
The game show is awesome.
That was great. That was a phenomenal idea, Joel.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
I had a lot of fun. It was tough. They were tough questions, but
Spencer's upset with me because it didn't go perfectly smooth.
It was really good.
You should have said I should have planned it out more, but
it was good. You did a
Don't
good
throw me
job.
under the bus like that. Come on.
You threw me under the bus yesterday, Spencer.
You successfully made me feel dumber, though.
Yeah, but Jeremy, can you come on? Can we do it again next Friday? And I'll practice up. Are you going to be traveling? Could you do it next Friday, same time, 8:30?
Next Friday, I actually will be traveling. Yes, unfortunately. The Friday after that, I could do it.
All right. Well, we'll find out maybe another day next week. Are you okay? I'll shoot.
All right, buddy.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
Yep. See you guys.
All right.
See you, Joe.
All right.
That was fun. That was a fun.
I thought you were gonna crush him, Dennis. I really did. But
those are hard questions. Like you think about, it's easy when you look at the answer, but you're just trying to like grab stocks out of the head, like top S&P 500 components. And if you don't, you said I couldn't look at anything, so I'm just like thinking you're grabbing stuff out of your head. It's difficult. We've moved around in market caps too lately. Like
yeah, it does. Like Johnson and Johnson, you mean?
Oh, I know. I think about those. You should have. Even Berkshire Hathaway's in there, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. JP Morgan.
The pressure got to me.
No, I know.
I was like, deer caught in the headlights. I was like, I don't know if I can answer this in 3 seconds. And then the 3 seconds is over, and then I'm like, I blurred out ExxonMobil and apparently got lucky, but.
What about the triple downgrade here of TPR? Is that a little bit late to the party, Spencer? Who were the firms that downgraded TPR?
Let me pull them up here on my trusty.
Yes, your answer to your question is yes.
Benzinga Pro.
Very late to the party.
We've got MKM, Oppenheimer, and Piper, and they're all downgrading it to neutral this morning. So it is late. He's right.
Another retailer that's in shambles. Shocking. Next.
Yeah. Any other? I'm not even going to look at the chart. I mean, I don't even know. First of all, why did they change their name from Coach is what I want to know, right? Isn't this the Coach?
I don't think so. Is it?
No?
Yeah.
Spencer?
Wait, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, I didn't even know that. Boom. You're all over it today, Joel.
16.25 was your low in April of 2000. So put that on your radar. Any other ratings of note?
Let's see here. Southwest caught a upgrade, from Wolf Research to Outperform. They're a small firm. TJX upgraded Loop Capital to buy. Intel upgraded Northland, another small firm, to neutral there. What else did I see as far as downgrades are concerned? Nothing too crazy. WLL, which we talked about, Whiting Petroleum, downgraded Wells Fargo to neutral.
Thanks.
And
Wells.
Thanks a lot. And that's kind of it. Not a lot on the ratings front. Applied Materials caught a downgrade. They had earnings, which we didn't discuss. I can give you that number real quickly. AMAT.
That was up, and it gave it all back.
Yeah, they beat on the EPS, beat on the sales, and the guidance they gave for the fourth quarter EPS was in line, and the fourth quarter sales also in line. So it was a good report. I don't know.
It was a good report, and it was trading up. They must have said something on the conference call because it was trading up around 49, I saw, higher 48s. And then something happened in the conference call, and they pulled the rug out from under it, and it just tanked. So I don't know what was said. Keep an eye on LRCX. It moves directly with Applied Materials. I know LRCX is in the green here today. If Applied Materials continues to leak, I would think LRCX leaks as well. So I'd be careful. Obviously, the market's helping LRCX this morning, and you do have NVIDIA in there too. But Applied Materials is a pure pair play with LRCX.
Keep an eye on your pre-market high is 78.50. That's an important level. Holding the high from yesterday, 71.75 is important. And then My last number on the upside here was that intraday high from Tuesday at 2889.75. So there's another target for you. Spencer, you want to wrap things up and give us a little preview for next week?
Preview for next week is I'll be back in the office, which I am very much looking forward to. But thank you to Jerremy Newsome. Thanks to all of you in our chats on YouTube and premarket.benzinga.com. Catch our podcast. Available wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever. Please remember all the information on our show meant for informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. Any questions, comments, concerns, email us premarket@benzinga.com. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Have a great weekend. We will see you all on Monday.